Welcome to our podcast, You're Entitled to Our Opinion, where we delve into the Christian life, the Bible, and pretty much anything that's happening in the world today.
But more than just our opinion, we want to share truth that just might change your life.
Now, we don't claim to have all the answers, but we know who does. And our goal is to give him a chance to make a difference in your life.
I'm Jay Scribner.
And I'm Tom Johnson.
And you are entitled to our opinion.
Oh, second week of November. Second week, I guess it is.
Second week.
The 15th of November. Here we are. We just celebrated Veterans Day. Man, that's a fun time here in Branson.
It is. I'll tell you what, I'm not sure that there's another city in the United States that really honors veterans. And I know they're honored everywhere.
Sure.
But I'm not sure that Branson isn't right at the top or sure close to it as a city that really honors our veterans.
Did you ever
and rightfully so.
Did you ever get to meet Tony Orlando?
Yes.
What an incredible guy. You know, and he was kind of the spark plug for all this.
That's
when
true.
He had the Yellow Ribbon Theater here. And I got to meet him and work with him a number of times. And just a great guy. But I love the fact that he brought and launched the very first Branson Celebrates Veterans. And now we have hundreds of thousands of people coming here. It's so much fun.
You know, just a few years ago, one of the neatest things that at the parade, we do a veterans parade, of course, every year.
Yeah.
And one of the neatest things, we had a guy on our staff that was our missions minister.
Okay.
And he had served in the military. Well, so had his dad.
Oh.
And his dad was in his 90s, confined to a wheelchair. And I'm telling you, I and just about everybody else along the parade route, we couldn't hold back the tears because here's Chuck pushing his dad. They're both in uniform. His dad's in his wheelchair. And I think that just gripped everybody's heart along the parade route.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, it's neat how Branson goes all out to honor the veterans.
Yep.
It's made me almost want to lie just a little bit about being the fact. Yeah, I'm a veteran, and because I'm telling you, we roll out the red carpet around here.
That's right.
Getting free meals and free theater entrance and all that stuff, which is great.
It really is. And I love the fact that Silver Dollar City does that every day. When they do the flag raising, they bring all the veterans out there on the square.
I didn't realize that.
And
That's
they have a small parade, and the marshal leads them in cadence, and they go, and here's guys in walkers, guys in wheelchairs, you know, some of them hale and whole, and they're walking across the main street there to the flagpole. And
That's great.
It's amazing to watch everybody around, just like you were saying, you know, people standing in reverence and awe and respect to those that have served this great nation. So
and one of the traditional things that's been going on for decades is in our theaters, it's rare if you go to a theater that doesn't take a song or a moment to honor the veterans, no matter what time of year it is.
Yep.
Every show, there's a real honor to the veterans. Did you serve in the military?
I did not serve in the military, and neither did my father. My father was in the National Coast Guard up in Superior, Wisconsin. But I actually was, back in 1973, when I was 18 years old, President Nixon held.
Man, just how old are you?
Ancient.
Let me do the math on that.
Anyhow, that was back when they had the lottery for the draft.
Right.
And my brother, he's 18 months older than I am. His number was 332 or something like that. No chance of him being drafted. My number came up, number 10.
Really?
But that was the year that President Nixon, they held the lottery but suspended the draft.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
so I came that close, and I was looking at my options because when I was a senior in high school, Mama raised kind of an idiot. This guy came up and said, "Hey, we're getting guys together and having an aptitude test." And we give out this free aptitude test, and it kind of shows you where your strengths and weaknesses are. And you get out of class, you go over to Duluth. And so I said, sign me up. I want to get out of class. I was 1A before everybody else in my class because my aptitude test was actually pretty good. And the guy says, you're kind of the man we're looking for. Wait a minute, who's we? And then I found out it was for the military.
Okay.
And that's what they so anyhow, that's how close I came to ended up serving.
Yeah.
But I went to college anyhow,
Well,
decided that.
I didn't give it any thought, to be honest with you. I was going to college,
Mm-hmm.
and in the draft classification, if you were enrolled in college,
Mm-hmm.
you got a certain classification that exempted you from the draft, at least for that 4-year period,
Okay.
or whatever time it was.
Right.
And that's what I did. I didn't. I sure wasn't trying to dodge the draft.
Right.
I've always had a respect for the military.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, always had a respect for the military.
Yeah.
My dad never did serve. Finally, one of my brothers went to the military. He ended up serving in 2 different military. One was the Army, and the other was Marines.
Ah.
And at 2 different times, he had done that. But within our immediate family, he was the only one. Now, I did have a cousin of mine
Mm-hmm.
who his father died when he was in 3rd grade. His mother died when he was in the 8th grade.
Oh.
And so he came and lived with us for a couple of years,
Okay.
maybe a little bit longer than that. And so really he was more like a brother
Right.
to us. And he ended up, after high school, he was drafted, went to Vietnam, ended up being killed in Vietnam. And so that's the closest we've been touched with that type of event happening to my cousin Terry.
Yeah, those people that serve, they are a special breed of people, and that really is a service. That I'm reminded of John 15:13. No greater love has anyone that who would lay down his life for a friend.
Well, that's applicable, isn't it?
It very well is.
It really is.
And just for statistics' sake, 19.5 million people have served this country since starting in World War I. 19 million people have served this, and the oldest one today is a guy named Harold Bray, and he was a Navy survivor of the USS Indianapolis. He's 98 years old, born June 15th, 1927, and he right now qualifies as the oldest veteran alive here in the United States.
98 years old.
98 years old. And somehow he survived the USS Indianapolis that was bombed in Pearl Harbor. And so
Wow.
He's got quite a story. And if you do a little bit of research, it's pretty amazing how he did survive that. And right now, he gets honored every year, and rightfully so.
Sure.
It's just really amazing.
Well, we want to go on record
Yes.
to express our honor,
Yes.
our appreciation, our gratefulness to every veteran that has served, every present military person that is serving. I've got a grandson. Our oldest grandson is serving in the Air Force.
Excellent.
And
yeah.
so, no question in my heart, my mind, we are appreciative, we are grateful, and we honor those who have served.
Right.
We
do.
cherish our freedoms, and we understand the old trite statement that freedom isn't free. It isn't.
And it's because of the brave.
That's right.
The land of the free because of the brave.
That's
I
great.
love that one.
Those are good. Those are good statements.
Yeah. Well, it goes all the way back to the very beginning of time. We seem to not be able to not have war because our humans, we just don't know how long to get together, do we? But anyhow, as we talk about that, they serve this great nation of ours in an amazing way, and we appreciate it so much. And let me give a little bit of honor roll here for people that have served this country. Remember old Audie Murphy?
Yes.
The old movie,
Yes.
man, he held off a German platoon for 2 hours on top of a burning tank with that 50 caliber machine gun. And he is actually honored in Germany by that feat.
Really?
The fact that he was able to hold that off, they said that was an amazing farm boy from Texas. And he ended up going into the movies and playing a lot of Westerns.
Right.
In my hometown, though, little flag waving there, Richard Bong. He was a World War II fighter pilot. He knocked down 40 Japanese planes, more than Eddie Rickenbacker. He was one of the most decorated pilots. But the funniest thing about his story, and they actually have his, I think it's a P-51. They actually model of the P-51 in a little museum, and every time I go by there, it reminds me.
Now this in Minnesota?
This is in Superior, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, he was actually from Ashland, which is just outside of Superior. But anyhow, he was such a lousy shot from the shooting standpoint, but he was such an amazing pilot that he actually would fly up to them and not have to waste ammunition. He could get right on their tails and then
sounded to me like he needed to.
He had to, but he was so incredible as a pilot. And the bad thing was he lost his life as a test pilot for the new jets in California.
Wow.
And so he's honored up in Superior, Wisconsin for that. But Clint Eastwood, Elvis Presley, Jimi Hendrix, of all people, Johnny Cash, we talked about him last week.
Right.
You met him, yeah. And Morgan Freeman, even Yogi Berra was in the Navy. Those are some
celebrities, veterans.
Yeah,
that's great.
And there's that phrase, all gave some and some gave all, that actually doesn't apply to veterans. We are this week celebrating those that have served and are serving. That phrase actually is saved by the military people. They say, don't say it now. That's for Memorial Day.
Okay.
That's when we honor those that have given their life for this country.
Yep.
Not just, but they are also included to those that serve. So
sure.
Anyhow, just little tidbits to throw out there. And so amazing. But what did they fight for? We were talking about this off camera. Are we a democracy? Are we a republic? Are we almost socialist, communist? Where are we? What are we as a nation?
Depends on if you're in New York.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What are we, though, Jay? I know you've done some studies on this, and let's start with Isaiah, what you just shared before we got on camera, because I think it's really important that people, because the big fight is this country based on God, or is it just based on freedom, trying to get out from underneath the tyranny of England?
Well, obviously, that's a good question that you pose. What are we?
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe the question perhaps should be, how were we established?
Okay.
And what have we become?
Mm.
So I think any type of intelligent study of our founding fathers will bring us to an understanding that we were in fact established as a republic.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic,
Okay,
for which
good.
it stands. So
Yep.
we in fact, and there's lots that we could dig up from a historical standpoint, and the establishment of our Constitution
Right.
and that. But here's something you almost never hear. I'm convinced that our nation was established upon Judeo-Christian principles,
Okay.
and the verse that is the foundational verse. And here again, you almost never hear this, but I'm reading from Isaiah chapter 33, verse 22. Isaiah 33:22, because this is the basis of our tri-level government.
Okay.
Here's what it says: For the Lord is our judge. The Lord is our lawgiver. The Lord is our king. And I understand that we don't have a king. No kings.
No kings.
I understand
No
that.
kings. No kings.
But but I'm just saying this is the basis of the tri-level government structure that we have, which is pretty neat. And then the last phrase in that verse is, "He will save us."
Wow. Yeah.
And so when you look at that, Tom, from that perspective, that the basis of our tri-level government, the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative, couldn't think of that word.
That's right.
And the legislative branch, that's coming from this verse in God's Word. And then I love that last phrase. He, who's he? Well, the Lord's our judge, the Lord's our lawgiver, the Lord's our king. He, the Lord, will save us. What a tremendous perspective when you look at that, and you can uncover the historical perspective of how our nation was founded, and no matter where we've come to, we need to go back to where we began. And we especially need to go back to the biblical basis of our marvelous structured government.
Yeah. Well, if we will base our faith and our life on the truth of God's Word, it sets us free.
Sure.
You'll know the truth, and the truth will set us free. And that's where, as we get away as a nation from our roots and from the Bible, that's where people get all confused. That's why, again, I asked the question, are we a republic? What is a republic? Are we a democracy, or are we a democratic republic? And I think it's very important for people, because we get these arguments that happen. We're a democracy. We're a democracy. You know, we're the people are the ones that make the rules. Well, no, we're a republic. We elect representatives, and they're the ones that make the rules for us, because we get all of these people, and they have no idea what they're talking about.
Sure. Well, let me try to put it in a nutshell, and that is this. Well, first of all, let me reiterate what was said a while ago. Our nation was established as a republic. Make no mistake about it. You can go back historically and just research that. And like I said, if nothing else, just stand in front of a flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance, and you can figure out what it was intended to be, that we are a republic. A republic, here it is in a nutshell, is where the supreme power is held by the people and their elected representatives. That's the key. Versus a democracy, which is a system of government of all eligible members. Now, here's the problem with that. If we claim to be a democracy, if we want to be a democracy, if we have become a democracy will eventually become top-heavy, because all eligible members of a democracy by nature will turn inward to where we're constantly clamoring and voting ourselves more and more and more. Well, again, you look at it from that perspective, that it will eventually topple because it will eventually become top heavy. I'm not down on democracies. We just need to understand the genius of our founding fathers that did not establish for us a democracy. They established a republic.
I wonder where they got that idea.
Yeah, you reckon?
And I love the fact there's a word there that gets misused or maybe replaced by another word. And what you said when you talked about the republic is that it's the people and their duly elected representatives.
That's the key right there.
We now have this problem where we're moving toward the democracy where, no, they're not our representatives, they're our leaders.
Yes.
And they want to lead us according to not the will of the people, but their own personal agenda. We have right now in 2025 a governmental situation here where we're seeing our leaders not representing the people.
You put it together in a nutshell right there, Tom. That is a problem, extremely problematic. Now, we the people have allowed that to happen.
Yes.
And but if you stop to think about it, in this democracy which we're leaning toward, and our leaders, in order to get reelected, are promising this and this and this. They're passing legislation that gives and gives and gives. And what's not to like about that? And so consequently, we're seeing unfold between our right before our eyes that we're stacking it up higher and higher and higher. And go back to what I said earlier. A democracy will eventually become top heavy and consequently will topple. And it's extreme danger that we're leaning in that direction.
Well, we're coming up to our 250 years.
That's pretty exciting.
That's incredibly exciting. The only problem is, throughout history, no republic, no democracy has lasted this long.
I know it.
Are we on the teetering edge of what you just said, a collapse? Because what's happening, and this is the one thing that people just don't understand, is that the government doesn't have money. They only redistribute money.
Right?
They take your money, they take my money, and anybody else that's working through taxes and the trillions and trillions of dollars that come in, the government doesn't produce a nickel of it.
That's right.
They just redistribute it. And the problem is what you're talking about in the democracy. We have so many people wanting to live off of that money, and the number of people that are providing that money, no, let's put it the right way, that money is being taken from them.
Yes.
And going to those that don't want to work.
See,
if you can't work, that's something. But if you don't want to work, the Bible does say pretty specifically, if you're not going to work, you shouldn't eat.
That's right.
So this is where I think we're getting to the toppling point, is there's going to be fewer and fewer people pulling the wagon and a whole lot more people wanting to ride.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so I think some of these things that we're saying in the last 5 to 10 minutes, Tom, pretty revealing because we're actually pulling back the curtain of what has been going on here. And it's been going on for a long time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's a tragic thing. And we definitely need to stand up as we the people. I've often said that I realized very keenly from my studies, U.S. government studies in school, that we have three branches of government. Well, for a long time, I've been presenting the fact that no, we actually have four branches of government in this check and balance system, and that fourth branch is we the people.
Yeah.
And we the people, to be honest with you, we haven't been showing up to work like we need to.
That's a
so
good
that
way
we
to put
can
it.
so that we can go to this check and balance structure and say to those in Congress, enough is enough. What's that thing, Tom? That the opposite of pro is con. So does that mean the opposite of progress is Congress?
Uh-oh, you're meddling now.
I think that's probably true right there.
You know, and we're not going to wave this banner too hard, but you know what? When people get entrenched, they feel entitled.
Yes,
And
say that again.
When people are entrenched,
Yep.
then they feel they're entitled.
Yes.
And we have a Congress that has been in power too long.
I would agree with that.
How do you, on a salary of a couple of $100,000,
Spend millions of dollars to get reelected.
and have $1 million or so in the bank? You
Plus
got to have some.
Plus the fact, I mean, you and I have both worked. I don't think that I could, on my job, have said to my employer, who happened to be a church structure, I don't think I could have said to them, you know, for the next 4 years, I'm going to take 2 years off, and I won't be here very long, very often, because I'm going to go out to try to make sure that I can stay here as your pastor after the next 4 years.
Right.
But that's exactly what happens in Washington, D.C.,
Yep.
that if you're there for 4 years, they spend 2 of it at least running for re-election so they can keep their job. We've got a messed up system.
We do. And it brings, as we're getting close to the end here, it brings me to Galatians chapter 5, verse 13. And this is, I think, the bottom line. You were called to freedom. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love, serve one another.
Wow.
That's what's hurting in our nation today. We're celebrating veterans that laid their life on the line for the freedoms and what we have in this great country of ours. But we have so many other people, and the fourth branch of the government included, who are serving themselves.
Yep.
And not serving each other.
That's right.
And that's where that needs to come. Term limits, whatever it takes.
I'm for that.
We need to get to the point where we're serving each other instead of serving ourselves.
That's a great statement right there, because you used to have public servants. Now you still do, but they're becoming fewer and fewer.
Right.
So we need to pray for our elected officials. We need to pray for our people as in politics and who are serving on every level, all the way from the president, all the way down to local. We need to pray for them. We do need to encourage them, but we need to hold them accountable.
That's the third
That's
one.
what we're not doing. We need to really hold them accountable.
Yep.
And one of the great ways that if we really don't like what's going on, we have the privilege of voting.
Yep.
And there's so many people that don't take advantage of that privilege. But we need to do that as well.
Yep.
Well, I'm grateful to be an American. I'm grateful to live in this phenomenal country of ours.
Yep.
And so grateful for those that have paid the price of service.
Yep.
And even those who have paid the ultimate price of dying for our freedoms. We cherish our freedoms. We're grateful to be Americans.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. All of you that qualify for what Jay just talked about, thank you. And again, like you say, vote. The
Vote.
best thing you can do in this republic of ours is hold our representatives accountable to stick to the truth and serve this country in love. Again,
That's right.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Join us next week because you're entitled to our opinion.
Friends, you can contact us at yourentitled777@gmail.com. Also on Facebook.com, You're Entitled to Our Opinion. Jay's video blog, Here's Hope America, can be found on Facebook.com, Here's Hope America. Tom's blog, Durf Nerfels Thought of the Day, you can find at Facebook.com/DurfNerfelsTOTD, but also you can sign up to receive it by email on the website durfnerfel.us. Share our opinion. As with all podcasts, you, our listeners, are the way people join us as you share the podcast with them. You're Entitled to Our Opinion has been recorded at Flat Frog Studio, Hollister, Missouri. For more information, go to www.flatfrogstudio.us.